I do have a question about the difference between phthalo green and viridian. What do you see in your mixes that are different?
Uh, Viridian has is a little bit richer. It's a more it is on the I did say phthalo. Did I say phthalo? I,
No,
I
I
said
you
I
said
said
viridian was richer.
no. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
phthalo is more powerful and is a little bit richer in chroma, where it's a little bit has more intensity. But yeah, by itself, it's a terrible color. But when you mix it with other things, it really enhances the other colors. Viridian's really great. It's a fabulous color. Richard Schmid loves that color. I go with more with Collie Wisson, who turned me on to the phthalo green. Um, it's a beautiful color to mix with. That's the thing, is it just enhances almost every color it goes into. Yeah, it's going to fight for control and try to take over the painting, but it it has so many nice qualities to it. I just love it. So I do.
Thank you.
It is on the blue side too. It's not. It's green. It's phthalo green on the blue shade.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate the explanation. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I could. It's really just off a little bit. I think Viridian's more of a natural color, where phthalo's not really it's not, and it's
Right.
just really but what it does the other colors is what I like, where Viridian kind of takes you there and plateaus, where I think phthalo just kind of goes a little higher.
Oh, I like that. Thanks for that explanation.
Okay, no problem. We got a few other people who are going to be showing up here and things. They're going to take a little while. I want to give them a few minutes to get here. Let me show you guys something that I have done lately. Let me see. Let me pull this one down. Okay, all right. Well, this guy's going to be going to New York pretty soon next year, and is going to be at the what is that some really big gallery show. Um, yeah, wet fur is what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be doing dripping wet fur. This is really soaking wet fur, and trying to get the transparency of regular water going over fur, going over regular water, and in the thickness, the rim of the waves of water, the thickness of those water waves, translucency, trying to keep that going. It can be it's there's a lot to painting water and painting wet fur that it gets complicated. So, but in this workshop, what I'm going to try and show is, try to take how to try to simplify the methods, and getting the somehow trying to getting them all to work together. Um, so you don't have uh, your fur feels good in the water, and works well in the water. And that's that's my big talk there. Isn't that wonderful? Yes. Uh, anyway, I but what we'll be painting today is a water dog, not a dog water, but a dripping wet dog. Um, this is my boy. This is Bjorn. He is uh, a white golden, uh, Irish English cream golden, they call them. And I painted paintings like this, similar to this one. The last one I just painted got into the national show and was sold, so I don't have that to show you. So that's why I showed you the other one. But uh, wet fur and dripping wet fur is kind of exciting to paint. And like I said, I want to show you some ways to simplify it, because if you get caught up into all this craziness and knots and things that are happening in this fur, you could be painting, if you're a super realistic painter, it will take you forever. I want to try and show you to you in a few hours of how to simplify it and make it just, glow. And so today I'll be going through my process. Hopefully you guys can, keep up with me. If I don't, just speak out if anytime you feel like you need any information. But I'll be going through my process, how I paint, and how this works, how I lay on paint. Um, uh, and that's the big thing about these wet water dogs, is how I let you lay on the paint and the timing of laying it on. Um, you have to, for me, I have to get all the colors and all the information, all this crazy brush strokes and stuff underneath, underneath the painting, in the underpainting, and then build the fur. So it's kind of a building process. I build from dark to light. So all the highlights, everything like that, always comes at the end. So I know people go nuts when they watch me paint, because they want to get in there and they want to put in the highlights right away. I want to. I don't want that. I want that surprise. I want to be surprised when I'm painting. I want to be excited, and to kind of jump the gun and get to the highlights before then they need to be put in. Um, just kind of wrecks the crescendo of it all. So I like to really like get it at the end, and then do the finishing touches. So today we're going to be basically going to be able to get a good solid block in. We're going to get some fur in. I will try not to go too far. Tomorrow there's the second part of this workshop. It used to be just one day. Now I made it 2 days, because the second part of the work, I can only get so much done in one workshop. The second part of the workshop is pretty much where all the real adjustments come in, where I take and I do a digital check at the beginning, and I make sure that the drawings in the right areas. I mean, like the eyes aren't too low or too high, or little things like that. You get those guys right, and then I'll dive into a lot of more of the finishing, the money strokes, the little things. I'll give you some strokes today. I'll try to give you as much as possible, but I know tomorrow some of the big strokes in the chest and stuff will go in, and then the little flicks I'll be showing you at the end too. I work wet into wet, so my painting will be wet when I'm working on it all the way through. It usually takes about 2 to 3 sessions to get one of these guys done. Um, I will try to get it done in 2 for you. But if we can't, you'll get really, really close. Okay, we'll get really close enough that you can see where the little finishes got to go, and they'll take time. So again, thanks you guys all for joining there. I think we've got everybody now, and I made my spiel. Okay. All right. I will bring up the photos and we'll talk about them. Okay. So this is, again, the color version of Bjorn here at the lake. This is up in Michigan, or on our cottage. This is over by the beach area though. So that's why the water's so, kind of has that orange tinge to it, because of the sand. It's pretty. Beach goes out quite a ways, so you get a lot of nice reflective colors coming from that sand underneath. And Bjorn here, he's he's my funny dog. He's a prima donna. He will give me this shot once or twice during a photo shoot. He'll give me a good shot, but after that, he's out of the water and doesn't want to do anything. So it's kind of hard to get him to work. Where my other dog is a regular golden, and his name's Fenrir, and he will do anything. He's a ball chaser. He'll chase the ball all day. So I'll work with him during these photo shoots most of the time, and then Bjorn will just mosey on in every once in a while, and I'll get a few shots, and he'll mosey back out. At least that's the way it's been going on lately. Uh, but like I said, every once in a while he'll just stand there and just give me this pose that uh, just goes, wow, that's something. That's really cool. And this shot, was there was like I shot like three or I shoot quite quickly when they do this when he does this, so I get quite a few shots, and this just all came from like a few seconds together. I've gotten was able to get like 3 or 4 paintings out of them. So this is you can see the background. The background is pretty simple, but it is a little complicated. And I sent you guys this one. But what I meant by complicated is you can see the boat in the background. You got a little things I would probably take out. I don't mind piers. Piers are fine, but the boat's a little bad. It's a kind of in a bad spot too. It's right there behind his ear and behind his head, going into his head. So I would say, that would be one thing I would probably take out of the painting or the photo. Back here, the trees and stuff don't bother me. I think there was back here, you have even the idea of siding on the house back there. That's probably too much information for that spot. So I would say mostly anything in this area back in here, really, play it down. I don't mind the green though. I kind of like the where the green comes, except for it comes like directly out of his head. But I do like that. It's not doesn't really bother me too much. Everything bothers me though. So uh and like I was saying about the sand, this is a really good one because of I usually work at a 2/3 the thirds method, or 1/3, 2/3, and things. And so this being up here at this 2/3 level, the shadows and everything going on, works out pretty well. And then this whole area down here, is really kind of quiet and stuff. So it's makes for the dog to stand out really easy. And I don't have to really think too hard at this point. Let me see. Okay. So here we go. I always put this grayscale on the next to my paintings or what I'm going to be working on, because I'm really think that the values of a painting, uh, need to be really tight, and that's why I can always tell you exactly what value to go by, because of this grayscale here. As you can see, I just turned the painting into a grayscale. You can even see the highlights on this dog. All these dogs, they're no more than 2, mostly 3s, really. That's where we're gonna try to build this painting, and make it jump. It's just a change from a value from a 3 value to a 2 value, and that will give us all the dimension we need in the painting, in the highlights. We don't need to do too much. The background, you can see pretty much it's very dark. It's probably down here at probably 8s and 9s. Probably going to stay closer to 8 up there, and that should do it. The nose and everything else, yeah, those are going to be probably a lot darker. They're going to probably be closer to the 9 range. I usually never go to 0 or to really to 10. everything is really going to fit in inside there, inside the graph. So, okay, I think that's so you can see how tight the values are. The dog values are really right around 7 in the shadows. So when we mix colors, we'll be mixing colors together. Definitely the value of 7, getting all your darks or your midtones to about a 7 is going to be really important, and it will really make your painting by getting them all tight together, because then we can get all the colors in there and they're all going to fit and they're all going to blend and they're all going to just work together to create the underneath of the fur. And that's where the magic is really getting how much color I can get in these things, and then you're letting the highlight come in and steal the show. You can get all this extra color in this dog, and then you can have the highlight become, come in at the end and do all the drawing, do all the important things, the really detailed stuff, and just make all that color that I'm going to try and shove into the dog go away for the viewer, so they don't really concentrate on that. All right, so that let me see, is there anything else? Okay, well, here it is. This is what it looks like. I took out the boat. I'm sorry, I did take out the boat on this one. I took a few minutes and did a Photoshop thing and just took out the boat, and you can see that boat, it looks, you can concentrate on the head without that boat in there. So I would say, don't put it in if you don't have to, because it's always going to be one of those weird things. What the hell is it? In your painting, you don't want to have too many what the hell is it in your painting. Especially in the background, things that aren't important. It's better to get rid of those and just let the dog itself dominate the painting. And that's where I'm going to be. Okay, little things now, design wise, like we say, we're working at the 2/3 line here. The dog itself, second. The dog itself, or Bjorn. So if you can see his head here, we'll just go over a few things on him. Usually there is a split, right here down the middle of his nose into his lip, where everything splits off, this little Y here, upside down Y. That's going to run straight back his nose, runs straight back his head. It runs all the way back. It runs down his back. It's like where everything splits on these dogs. And you can see if you split this dog the right way, you can start to get the rhythm for him. You can start to see everything's about this one size, his eyeball size. Pretty much his head is based off that. We got basically an eyeball two eyeballs in between his eyeball, and an eyeball on the sides. So I just, simple little things like that I'll take into consideration when I'm drawing these things out. Makes it a little bit easier to go. You can also see where the muzzle, everything comes down. You start to see where the nose is just inside his eyeballs. Mostly they're really inside here in the tear duct areas. That pretty much lines up with the nose. So also with these guys, the attitude you get, it comes usually from these guys, these vertical eyebrows they have. They have 2 eyebrows, really, one that are connected here. One on the side that just goes up and down this way, and then these guys, this guy goes up and down that way too, but it's the round part, that little bulbous area that comes down here that just gets the corner of their eyes and gives them all the attitude. and stuff. So it's and there's just a little teeny split between the two guys, the two muscles, and that really is the start of their crown of their head up here. That's where that guy goes, and then so that that's a little probably a little deep, but it's little things I always look for. It helps me to draw them in quicker. Nostrils, of course, nostrils are not nothing to, I just want to just look at too much. So that's what's kind of good about this guy is we don't have to get to look too closely in those nostrils, but they're more little fleur-de-lis type type shapes. They have a little bit of skin coming inside of the nostril, keeps it from being perfectly round. And then you got the flesh and how they're split. They're pretty close. It's they are pretty symmetrical in shape. They pretty much just a little different size wise, but that's just the way they breathe. Changing breath. Uh, but the one thing I was going to say is, I'm not really too keen in looking inside the nose too much, but I do like to. I will be giving it some love, but not, I don't want it to stand out too much. The eyes are the most important thing. And of course, these eyeballs, as you can see, we can barely see anything. A lot of times I'll end up just putting placeholder marks in there before I go in and, design out or figure out the exact highlight spots. So we'll get to those, but don't expect them to be exact till later on. One of the things about color, looking at this, you can start to see what I'm talking about, the greens. I kind of pushed this a little bit, this photo for you guys, to make sure you could really kind of see the greens and see the purples. I didn't do anything special. I didn't add any filters or anything else. I just pretty much worked with the shadows and the highlights to try to get them to, play together. But you can definitely see around the nose. You can see that green. That is a phthalo green. And then around the eyes, you can see the purples. One of the things to know in the color perspective and things, that green hits your eye before purple does. Purple recedes a little bit more. Even though I'll be mixing these two colors are going to be coming from the same mixes, the green side will still come forward and the purple side will recede. So that will help get that nose, to pop out at us a little bit. That will help, that's going to help, create that dimensionality in the dog. Okay. Other things, anything else to do? He does have, you can see that he does have blue legs, right? He does have, a lot of blue in his legs, a little bit of purples and in his backside, his haunches. But then you got a lot of warmth going in here into his chest area. And, that's going to be, going to be kind of that's going to be really interesting to paint, because that's going to have a lot of purples in it, with a lot of mixes of orange and some other things in it. And the key will be how to lay them in there quickly, without mixing too much, not over mixing your colors. Over mixing colors will make mud. If you lay them right next to each other, right on top, and kind of go, don't spend too much time thinking about this color being put in perfectly. You'll be able to move on. You won't make mud. and you move on a little bit quicker. Let's see. Anything else here? Design wise, it's pretty good. The only thing I would probably think about changing a little bit, probably adding to it, would probably be the shadows. Kind of boring. Down here, it's just a line going through here. So maybe just widen it out and a little bit at the outsides to, drive in more than it's kind of flat. So just drive in the shape a little bit more, be pretty good. Temperature things, uh, I'll be keeping one side warm, one side cool. You can tell that's pretty much the way they are in the water. So we won't be having to flip that too much. Okay. Otherwise, any questions? So we're going to come over here to the palette now, and I'll be going through my colors and things like that. Here's my palette. It's just a regular 18 by 24 type palette. It's a Lexan glass. Just got it from a refrigerator somebody was throwing out years ago, and it's just worked out great. I just painted the back of it, and this is how I lay out my colors. I do use a lot of Rembrandts because I am a Rembrandt ambassador. So they give me paint, so it's great paint, so I'll take it. So here's my colors. I'll go through my colors and my kit here. I just have regular titanium white out. I have cad yellow light out, cad red light, cad orange, yellow ochre. This is yellow ochre pale right here. I have. You could use yellow ochre. Yellow ochre pale just basically has a little bit more white in it. It's still the same ochre, but just a touch of white in it. Just happened to have that. And when I grabbed it and put it on. Here I have oxide red light. Now this oxide red light could be replaced by Terra Rosa or Rose or Venetian red. Here I have Rose Madder Deep, but this is also, I'll be calling it, it is red crimson red. So alizarin crimson. Sorry, God, I'm just it's alizarin crimson. So it's basically Rose Madder Deep. They don't really don't Rembrandt doesn't make Rose Madder or alizarin crimson. They make Rose Madder Deep. So that's what I use. But it's alizarin crimson is easy to get. My next color is blue. My blue is a mix. It's a hue. It is a cobalt blue hue. It is a mix of phthalo blue and what is that? Ultramarine, and it really mimics cobalt blue, but it doesn't cost anything near it, and it's just scientifically made. It will last forever. Phthalo green blue I have here. Phthalo green on the blue shade. And then this is transparent oxide red. See, I have oxide red and transparent oxide red. They're going to be very confusing for you, okay? I guarantee you they'll be confusing for you. Transparent oxide red is just like burn umber. Burn umber, but on the little bit on the more yellow side, and a little bit more transparent than burn umber. But you could switch that out with burn umber and be fine too. It's not, as long as you're using the same color throughout the painting and you're not going from color to color, you're fine. Switching.
James?
Yes.
Hi, it's Margaret. Can I ask a quick question on that oxide red? So you're saying that the difference, well, you gave us the explanation for transparent oxide red, but oxide red, you said you could use Terra Rosa if you didn't
Yeah,
have oxide red?
yeah, Terra Rosa or Venetian.
Or Venetian,
Or
okay.
Venetian. It's just a warm red, kind of on the grayer side of color of the red color.
Okay,
I
thank you.
no
Yeah,
problem.
okay, thanks.
Kit wise, I just have a couple of nice my palette knives. I like the spade bits because I can use the tip and I can use the side a little bit longer to the tip. I can use for drawing a lot more detail work. I like that. Big brushes, big ideas, right? Kevin McPherson gave us that. These are my big brushes. They are some cheap, crappy craft brushes made by Royal Langnickel, but they happen to work really, really well for water. They have a gentle touch. They're like nice synthetic, and I've had these since the beginning of the year and painted quite a lot of paintings with them, and they hold up. So they just kind of fun. I mean, yeah, they look a little funky in the hand, but they do make you hold the brush right. When I'm painting, I have to hold it like this, and it works out. I get more wrist twist in my wrist. I can get all of it. Definitely going to need some synthetics for this painting. Some big ones, basically, and some smaller ones. Here we also need some bristle brushes. Definitely big bristle brushes. Brushes that are too big for the job are going to be the best ones you want because they're really going to make you twist your wrist and you're going to get all kinds of interesting marks with a bigger brush than you need. Okay. I do have a couple of filbert type ones here too. They'll come in handy at the end. Sometimes getting that fur just right. So these guys probably end up doing a lot of the work on the dog. These guys are going to be all doing the tightening up and little slash marks. These guys are going to be doing pretty much the block in. Then when we get to doing drips, definitely going to have to get some drips in here and some marks, some other things. I always have a few other little things I like to make marks with, especially erasing paint and stuff. I do have these little rubber tipped brushes that are points. I love to sign my name with these guys because it's fun to move the paint around with those guys. I also have this, and I stole this from a guy who was in this workshop today, Joe. I had a workshop in what was it? Not Atlanta, but down in Georgia a couple of years ago, and this guy comes and shows me this squeegee, squeegee to make marks and make big straight lines for buildings and things like that. And I said, well, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but so I did go out and get one. He had a French one which has metal here. I went cheap. Yes, that's them. I went to the cheap version, but this plastic, this is silicone they have in here, is great for making drips. Just dropping it in and just giving it just a touch, push. You make these beautiful lines, and I have been using it like crazy to make my drips, and it does make some nice things. You get to use these guys here make great little scratches in your painting too, and they're very delicate. And that's the thing is finding ways to get I like to be kind of a little brutal with my paintings, and then to find a way to get this delicacy into the paint at the end just creates this really big river of ideas in a painting that it's kind of fun to do. It's a lot of fun. So I'll give you a call when I'm telling you guys when I'm going to use this. You'll see it. Make sure everybody gets an idea of what's going to happen. And big bristle brushes, big ideas. Okay, next we will be mixing paint here now for about 30 minutes or so, mixing the colors in this painting up, going over it, and I will take my time mixing because I go pretty fast, and I have been told to slow down. So I will try and slow down for you guys. Also, my paint medium is nothing more than safflower oil. I like safflower oil over linseed oil and some of these other things because it doesn't smell. It's in my house. It doesn't stink, and I don't use any solvents in my house. I don't use any white spirits or any of the other stuff in here either because they stink. And even though they say they're you can't smell them, yeah, you can't smell them, but they're there. So I don't. I clean my brushes with baby oil or mineral oil. Same thing. They clean them out. They get everything out. They don't get phthalo green. I mean, they get the colors out, but the phthalo green still stains the brush. So, but these guys are clean, and that's all I wipe them out with. So that is it. We will see you guys next week. Have a good time. All right. Yeah, bad jokes. Get used to that. You got a few hours of bad jokes coming.
That's why I spent $100 to hear those jokes.
I tell you,
It's like a comedy show.
it is. It's a stand up. This is my stand up routine. I'm going on the late night real soon. Yeah, my jokes aren't quite that good yet.
I still have my tool you made for me,
Oh yeah.
but the other end of it got immersed in solvent, like you said.
Yeah.
And it melted off the stick. It literally melted it off.
Oh. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. My other big thing is these. Well, you can go to the store and get one for $1, and you trim these guys off. These are just a silicone spatula. Get them at the dollar store here, and I just trim them with scissors, straight edges. Give me a couple of things because when we're working wet into wet, sometimes you want to get rid of that dark paint. For you can put clean paint over top of it. One of those guys will take it right to the canvas. Where this guy does okay, but it leaves a lot of paint, and so no, you're never going to get a good clean one. That guy will take it right to the canvas. That's right. All right, so this is what you guys have. We does have the boat in the background there. Color wise, this is way off, but we'll talk about that. All right, so I'm going to be mixing paint here. We're going to be talking about that. When I mix paint, I usually do 2 versions of each color. When I put 2 colors together to make a color, I want one on each side of the colors. So when I'm painting, if one color I put it up there, it feels too warm, I know I have the cool version of it usually. So going through this thing, looking at this color, we're going to go through the darkest darks first. I'll mix up my colors pretty much the way I'm going to use them on this painting. I'll be going darks to the top row. Then I'm going to take them and split them and add a little white to them and get them to about a value of 7. I think 7's pretty much this dog, and it will work pretty close to the background too. And then I'll take it up and lighten them up, light those colors up to probably 3, probably 4s. And then I'll do some highlights closer to 3s, 2s, and 3s for the the brightness of the dog, around the halo of the dog. I love backlit dogs. Backlit, they're the funnest to paint because I can get away with a lot of stuff in this front area of this dog and the side view. I can have really push the colors and have some fun, and then clean it all up with a highlight. The highlight's going to pretty much, mask everything else out. Interesting stuff. So, color wise, dark to light. We're going to be looking for some colors up here. We're going to be picking out a few. I'm going to start off with my phthalo green because I use a lot of phthalo green in my paintings. I do that phthalo green instead of blues, basically because everybody else uses blue. I want to use phthalo green. I want to be a little different. So these first few colors are going to be just phthalo green and alizarin together. I'm going to make a decent pile because I am going to painting a little bit bigger. And I put out, like I said, two piles. One's going to be a little bit smaller than the other. One's going to be so I can have one be on the alizarin side. Phthalo is a strong color. So alizarin's pretty strong too. So I can get a purple out of it, these two colors. And I'm going to leave the other one on the green side. So when I'll pull it down for you a little bit on the thing, you can see what I'm talking about. That's probably just a touch too green. But I can pull it down. You can sort of see the green in that, and you can see the purple in that. That's just phthalo green and alizarin. I went to these two colors pretty much because I found them in almost all my paintings now. They make this kind of a blue gray green, and a kind of a reddish purple grayed out purple, and they just fit a lot of areas in a painting, and it's a really just love to paint with it. The next two colors, so that's just phthalo green and alizarin. I'm going to go back to phthalo green, and I'm going to go. No, I don't need that much phthalo green. I'm going to go with a transparent oxide. It's going to be pretty warm. One of the things I found out that
Which that could be burnt sienna.
yes, this could be burnt sienna.
Thank you.
This color is pretty weak. I found out burnt sienna or transparent oxide is very weak compared to phthalo green, and it will be a little bit of like this. You can see I'll be putting in a ton of almost all my pile into this green here. I usually put the brown note first. Well, it's oxide red, transparent oxide red, but it really has a brown tint to it. But when I bring these guys down, this is what I was looking for. This kind of little green, this off green here on that side. This one has mostly transparent oxide. This color should come down. These two colors should come down and do most of the water damage. These guys are going to come in and do a lot of work in that area. Be some of the main colors in the water and in the dog too. So alizarin crimson, phthalo greens, and transparent oxide and phthalo greens, transparent red oxide. Now this is where we're going to get confused. Probably this is usually it. Phthalo green and oxide red light. This is more opaque. That's a difference between, well, it's not really a difference, but the color change. It's more red, has a little more red to it. This could also be Terra Rosa or Venetian red. There you go. One on the red side, one on the green side again. That might be just a touch too red, but maybe not. These guys will come in and gonna be probably heavily in this background and work their way into the water, I would think. Touch too red. Well, last one on my top here. Gonna be again phthalo green, but it's gonna be a cat orange mixed in. Cat orange. I might have overdid the phthalo green here. I don't need that much. I really want to be on the orange side. I'm thinking about the water here. And as you can see, it's like on this side, it's going to be like at least 2 to 3 times more orange than it is green. You can see we could start to get into that area. I'm going to leave this a little bit. There we go. You know, I do need enough paint though. I guess it's a little bit less. I don't have enough paint. So I'm going to build that up again. So I am painting it was this 30 by 20 for you. Hopefully some of my strokes and everything, I'm hoping they're gonna, translate a little bit better visually for you through the camera, so I can get it a little bit bigger and bring it in closer. Okay, so that's phthalo green and orange. This is on the orange side. That's a little bit more phthalo green side. Still would be considered on the orange side to me, but that's that. Trying to get everything off my knife. This is this is oxide red, light, and greens. This is transparent oxide red and green. And then this is just alizarin crimson and green. Okay. That is pretty much most of the background, 3/4 of the dog, some of the dog. We're gonna need a few specialty colors for the dog to bring out some of the oranges and some of the nose color and things like that. So down here, I'm going to do a couple more specialty colors when we start to get to some of the oranges and some of the nose colors and eye color. I'm going to start off with blue, and of course I'll put two together. I'm going to put alizarin and blue together. One's going to be on the course the red side. Won't take much. This alizarin's pretty strong. You can see the purple come out of it. And then the other one can be on the blue side. I see these guys can sometimes get in the nose, inside the nose, inside the mouth, in the eyes, pupils of the eyes. These dark colors. These are some of the darkest, richest darks I can make. And so they really kind of get in there into these eyeballs and into the nostrils. They really kind of can take you deep into those areas. I'll need a couple other colors here I like. Again, these would be blue. There's my dark color. And I'm going to go with the oxide red light. That's just red, brown, or terra rosa mix here. You can see that blue's not too strong. Yeah, bullied away really quickly. That red. So I'm going to leave one on the red side, one on the blue side. These guys with just a little bit of white in them will be like the skin color of the nose, and help get into all the jowls and things.
I'm sorry, was that Terra Rosa again?
Yeah, terra rosa and blue.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay. Now, looking at the dog, there are some really interesting colors that are going to come out. Some of the oranges I think I'm going to need to make. These ones that are going to run across his neck here and behind it and into his chest. So I'm going to need a couple of those, couple colors there. And I'm going to start off with alizarin and yellow. Just a little bit of alizarin, a little bit of yellow, cad yellow. And I can get these kind of nice oranges. They're different than these oranges. They have a lot more red in them. So it's nice to have that on your palette, that you have colors that are going to, separate out. They don't, they're not too close to one another. So, you're not wasting palette space, as I'm sure you guys are going right now. I'm out of room, right? We're all out of room.
I'm wondering if yellow and red would work for me rather than alizarin and yellow, because I'm really seeing the alizarin.
Okay.
I'm seeing the crimson.
You're seeing the crimson? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. You see that. That's fine. I'm going to go a little bit more crimson on this one. All right. And I think I could do a few more colors, but I think I can get everything on it. I do need a green, but I think I'm going to steal it from up here and add some yellows. So this is going to be my basic home piles for the colors for the palette, for the painting. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up here and split these piles down, split them in half, and I'm going to add just enough white to make them a 7. So I'm going to, like I said, split these piles and add just enough white to make them a 7. Some of these colors are already there. I don't have to worry too much. Don't have to worry about these guys. But I'll take these guys and add enough white to get some of that to get to the water. These guys probably won't be used too much, but you never know. That's the thing about doing it when I do my my palette. Even though I think this color is not going to work, it's not really in the painting at this value, I still do it because I get free paint, so I can use it. It doesn't make a difference to me. No, I do it because I'm always gonna prove myself wrong. Seems like. So I'm gonna add enough white to make these guys a 7. I'm not sure how much that is gonna be, if it's gonna be like 3/4 dark and 1/4 white light. But I'm gonna work on one color first, get it to the right, see where it goes. You can tell that's probably closer to 9 and 8 than 7, so it is going to take a little bit more white. And then, I still got a couple the light fur colors to come out. Do yet on this. Just a little dark yet. I think that didn't do much. Wow. Okay. Right there. It's still about a 8. All right. 7.5, 8. No, I'll do that to all these guys. I can just judge them off this value here. Just trying to squint your eyes. Some might not take quite as much white as that one did, hopefully. And that is my purple. Grayed out purple. There we go. As you can see, when it gets there, it's really pretty close to that. It's almost too close. So I'm going to push some green into this one again. All right. I don't want that close. They don't. Okay. Next one. These are transparent oxide and green. And as you can see the green coming through here. Now it's going to end up in the water. Probably. And this is the oxide side. Transparent oxide. And that's going to be, well, you can see it's real close to the water, in the water too. But it's also going to be in him a lot. This is phthalo green and regular oxide red. This should come down to a nice mint green color, but as you can see, it looks a little dirty. So I'm going to put a little more phthalo into it because it's just got a little too much red in it at this point. So it needs there we go. Just a touch more green into it to get the dirt out so it gets a little cooler.
And Jim, that is the phthalo green and the
Oxide red light.
okay.
This is oxide red, the side of it. This I'm hoping is going to get in the insides of his in here, inside all that hair. Maybe not at that value, but something pretty close. Some of these yellow oranges, definitely I'm just going to add enough white and see where they go. This is a good quality cat orange. Really didn't even add white. Did not take it far. Really had to add white there. And start to see it in there. Almost went too far. I'm going to keep that there. And do the same over here to a little bit darker version of it with phthalo green in it, the green side. Might do a little bit more green. Oh. Definitely going to get in there. Being able to go from one to the other when you're in the water quickly and things like that. I can really create much more space by layering things. You can see how this orange one, comes forward to your eyes, where the green version settles back. That's how you really layer this water, so you can get that water to fall backwards. Is making sure that the orange comes closer to you, and the green goes farther back. So the highlights and farther back, that color should help out. Okay, blue and alizarin. Way too much white, probably. No, okay, good. You get these kind of like sweeter, kind of cooler purples. You don't get these grayed out ones up here like this guy. These two. Just touch more blue, get a little bit more on the blue side. Just to keep it from being, you can see that might be in that might really get into his shoulders and things like that. This is oxide red light in blue, or terra rosa in blue. It's going to make a grayed out red purple, which will be all over in that dog. It can be all over in the shadow areas. It might be your hero color in the painting, the color that comes through and just pulls all the other colors together. I'm always looking for one of those colors that's gonna, tie everything together. And not saying that one's gonna be it, but it's close visually right now. I would say, yeah, that would definitely get into all that areas. All right, and then we got some of these fur colors, hot fur colors. Add a lot of white too. And I add some more white to the yellow side. I might need to even go to a more yellow side than this, but it's okay. I think we're good. All right. So that is all the midtones for the painting. Basically, they just came straight down from my darks, and they'll be guaranteed to work together. We have no problems.
Would you mind taking a shot of that and sending that to us, like a screenshot or a good something with your camera? Those are great colors, and I'd love to kind of keep that for comparison. Thank you.
No problem. I can do that. Yeah, keep it right. There we go. Yeah. Now really all I have to do now is lighten these guys up to the fur color, the highlights of these fur colors. I really need to get, these colors are pretty much, you know, from 6 to 7, you know, maybe 5-ish. But I need to get to these higher key colors that are around the 3s and the 2s. So what I'm going to do is put out some white. Probably go grab some more white. Did not expect to go through my white quite like that. I put a lot of white out too. But it's always good to have it. So I'm going to put out white, and then I'm going to add these colors to them, and do a couple little specialty colors that I always kind of find in paintings for highlights. And then we should be good. I'm just going to finish these guys off at the bottom here. I don't need that much, but so I'm going to go through here. Definitely, I want to get some of these phthalo green and purples here. Take just a little bit of that on my knife and work it into some white. Purple version too. See, that's just a touch too much white, too much color. Yes, for the green. There you go. This one is what I'm hoping is going to be a major color in it. This is transparent oxide and phthalo green. On the transparent oxide side, it usually makes this kind of a beige yellow color here. Now, yeah, I can kind of find in here a little bit sometimes. And it's yeah, it's on my screen. I'm painting on my screen, so got a lot more of that color than that. Okay. I could keep going. I'm just gonna add, oh shoot. What I meant by is I just took a lot of dark into that one. This is where I was talking about this color becoming like a mint green when you have enough white in it. It's kind of cool. And this just becomes a gray. Warm gray. Always useful to have in a painting. Um, the orange here, this should be a big color in the painting. You know, when I get to that orange and stuff, definitely get it in there. Let's see what the other side looks like. Just always good to have just a chance. Yeah, you can see how that's going to work in there nicely. I am going to put out some more white. Want to quick. That's how I'm slowing myself down, by just putting out more paint so you guys can catch up mixing, right? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna put out some more spots of white here. I'm gonna do a few of these. These guys need to be come down. These are fur colors. And I think when they get enough white in them, we'll really get close to what I need. So this is yellow and a little alizarin to it. Also the yellow. Nice little creamy color. Definitely can get in there. And then you got the red side, the alizarin side. Probably go a little lighter. That definitely hits. No, it's perfect. I'm not touching it. It could go lighter, but I'm going to leave it right there. That's just hits pretty much all the mid-tone highlights. That will be good. Seeing that, knowing all these colors are going to work out takes the pressure off of painting. You know, I can just sit there and concentrate on the drawing, concentrate on the design, and my brush strokes. It's all about brush strokes and weaving them in there. And so now knowing I have all the colors, all enough paint to paint it, I don't have to sit and mix paint. I can concentrate. Makes such a difference. Blue gray. Nah, yeah. I'm gonna get it to the right value, but I'm not sure it's gonna be there. Okay. I'm gonna do one more thing. Couple of highlight colors that I don't really have. I'm just gonna go just a touch of cad yellow and white together. It's my well, that's a little bit okay. That's a little bit on the yellow side. I'm gonna go up here and just add just a little bit more white. Don't need too much of it. It's just one of those tiny colors you put in here. I need that color. I need a pink. Pink, white. Oh, it should be it. I was going to put out some more white. Put it.
Was your pink alizarin or the Terra Rosa?
I used alizarin.
Okay, thanks.
I did use alizarin. Terra Rosa would work probably too, though. I have one spot here, so I'm gonna do one teeny color here. It's just blue and white. Just a little bit of blue, a lot of white. It's a really clean color, and it usually adds to the highlights. When I get to, you know, uh, putting in yellow, I'll put a pink blue next to it or a pink next to it just to make the highlight brighter. Oh, not work, not work. Okay, that'll work. That'll be the colors for the painting. I might there might be another. Let me check at the end. I might go with a cad red and white highlight, but I'll let you know. And that's just white and cad red. It's not like a big thing. Color wise, I'll go through the mixes, colors and stuff. We started off with phthalo green and alizarin. This is on the alizarin side. It has a little bit more red in it. This is on the green side, bringing them down to about a 7 value on here, a 7 value, and keeping all the colors right there too. So we got a phthalo green here. Next one's phthalo green and transparent oxide or burnt sienna ish. This is on the green side. This is on the brown side, red side, and bringing them down. Here we went uh, oxide red light and phthalo green, and then brought them down. Definitely, this could be also Terra Rosa. Then we went to basically the watercolors, phthalo green and cad orange. Lots of cad orange into these guys, not too much phthalo green. And then when you bring them down, you get pretty much all the highlight colors. Get the richness up here, you get the highlight colors here. These piles are probably going to end up being too small. You know, thinking about it, yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they're easy to mix. Easy mixes. Always leave a little bit for yourself to come back to, and you can really mix it up with the same thing. But there's just simple 2-color mixes. Alizarin and blue. Basically, blue side, alizarin side. I'll be using mostly these 2 darker versions without any white. Mostly those guys are going to go in the eyes and the nose and stuff. The other darkest colors, they go in the pupils, things like that. They really shoot you back. The muzzle and things like that will be coming from these 2 colors, the blue and the oxide red light, or your Terra Rosa mix. And take them down to with white. We took them down a little bit farther. We took all these colors down over here. They kind of come straight down over here. And we took them up with to about a threes and some are 2s. And then over here we have just simple little fur colors. He's white basically, but just sometimes that orange shows through. This is just alizarin and orange, alizarin and yellow. This is the alizarin side. This is the yellow side, coming down with white and then coming down again. So I took all these colors and brought them down and added them over here. I did make up a yellow and a white and a pink, a white and alizarin, and a white and blue, just for highlights when I get there. Like I said, this yellow is probably just on the yellow side too much, but not by my, we'll see. Sometimes I want to be able to see it, be right on the edge of seeing yellow and seeing white. Pretty much with all those colors. Terra Rosa. I mean, my oil I'll be using is the safflower oil again, pretty much to paint this thing. I will be starting off with my or I'll be starting off with some oxide, red transparent oxide. Sorry, my paper towels ran out on me right in the middle there. I'll be starting off with some transparent oxide as my toner when I tone my canvas and draw everything in. But also I want to show you guys some quick brush work and stuff. So I'm going to tone my canvas and I'm going to go through some brush work. Just little things you're going to need would be really handy on this painting to know or to try and get warm up and get ready for it. So you can kind of get some muscle memory. All right. I'm just going to tone it with oxide red light or transparent oxide. Transparent oxide, burnt sienna type color. Very thin, very basically I just want to get rid of white, even though I got highlights and stuff in here. I just want to get rid of the white. But I don't have to deal with it later. I just want to make sure the white is gone of the canvas. It's hard to judge colors against white. It's just too contrasting. And you really no white in the painting anyway. So I'm just going to tone it all down. That's adding a little bit of, I am adding oil. Mm. Now I'll just rub it in. I'm working off a linen canvas, one of these Centurion panels. Is a 20 by 30. Um, they're nice. I like them. Oil prime. Seems like the color on them is really nice. The color stays. Doesn't like. Yeah, without being, without you having to put in oiling up your painting too much. Colors are pretty good. Yeah. All right. Just toned in. I'm going to just show you a few, like I said, some brush work. It's going to come in really handy when you get to into his chest and things like that. These spikes you have to make. I'm just going to do them with some oxide red here in the middle. Nice to have a little bit of oil on that thing so it glides a little bit. Let's see. This is just with a regular synthetic. Basically, when you do those big things, definitely there's just spikes. You want to be able to twist your brush down, as you go, twist it down to one line and as long as you can get, especially when you get to that final stroke, you got to be able to do that. So I would even recommend, if you're not, just to take and think about, warming up even on the side over here if you want. And I usually don't start with those big guys. I'll work with the outside edges things just to warm my brush up, and then I'll come back here, and when I feel like I'm right there, I'll do it. One of the key things about when you do put in fur into the lights and things is always don't put them right next to each other. Give each one a little bit of space in between your strokes, so you got that dark in there to come forward and help the stroke read. You're not gonna have to do all the strokes that way. That way you can each stroke has its own space, and they just gonna read so much better than doing that too much. So this is what I was talking about doing. Just twisting your brush down and things. That's what a synthetics looks like. Here's what a bristle brush, looks like in that same stroke. Sometimes you're going to want different things on different areas. You're going to get a little bit of difference at the end. It's going to break up a little bit more, which is kind of good because then you can, sometimes when it's really wet like that, then you just have to come in and just erase a little bit. This is what I was talking about, erasing out lines. You need to get at that end thing. It just makes the water for you, pretty much gives you the water just by touching it. But you can take this and trim it too. If you have a certain size, this you find this is too big and you got different sizes, you can just trim it down. But that is a basically just a spike, and also there's always the flicks. You're going to see a lot of flicks on the outside of the dog when you get around his neck and things like that. Basically being able to just hold your brush in one place and flick it out. twisting it off. Always twisting your brush off when you're done with a stroke. I'll make it. And that's it. You know, thinner is better too when you, especially when you get to in between his legs and those guys. So we'll get to it. We're going to be doing lighter, smaller brushes. Not that much smaller though, but when you get to those areas, I think I'm just gonna oil rub that out and draw it in. You guys ready to go? That's good. No questions. Any questions? Let me know. Like I said, I'm here all day. Really took off a little bit of oil in there too.
James, when you said thinner is better, did you mean thinner paint or thinner strokes between the legs?
Oh, between the legs are going to be thinner strokes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Don't leave all the heavy stuff in the chest and into his legs. Then when you get down there in the things, you know, you don't want it busy right here. You don't want it. You really keep that simple because that will just gonna pull everything down. So you want to keep that weight up in his chest. All right. Can't put this off any longer. Let's get this puppy drawn in. So I hopefully you guys, you know, I don't care how you start. If you need to, you know, graph this out, if you have it loosied up or how you have the dog image up there, that's fine. But at some point during your painting, you're going to lose your graph, you're going to lose your line, and it's all going to have to come down to you. So the digital check is a good way for wet paint chain checking for your painting when you're halfway through or so to make sure you didn't move something too far. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. We got to lay this guy off. I do like his head up high, but I don't want it up too high that a frame's going to get involved, if you have a 1/4 inch frame or anything like that, that is going to make it too tight. But I don't mind being up there about that high, maybe right about there. I'm gonna go here, lower, lower that, and that way, if I put the highlight goes higher, I always got something to play with there. So we got the height down here and lower. I don't want it the exact same height as this. I definitely would like it a little higher. So these marks here are pretty good. So I'm gonna say I want them long, so keeping them there and there should be okay. And over to the side too. He's going to come over to the side a lot too. So let's work it out. Basically, his jaw. He's from his foot in the water to the top of his head. If you can break this line, this distance between those two into thirds pretty equally, into thirds like that, if you have the same amount and up there, that's a little too high. Like a little bit more on here then. basically thirds. Yeah. You can always, I'm not too worried about the feet. The feet can always go a little longer, you know. So get the head here. So I got the height, about the height for the head. Uh, Basically his head's at a slight tilt. Uh, so I want to get that just, you know, I have this basically perpendicular, but if I have this slightly tilted, probably like at, you know, not 1 o'clock, but probably 12:30-ish. This line 12:30, but then you know, you're gonna keep these eyeballs and everything are gonna stay right there with that vertical. You know, they're gonna twist too. Oh yeah, if so this line, I split it in half. That's the top of his nose. Top of his nose to the thing to his tongue, basically right in here. Well, gotta follow the angle here a little bit. And that's about the width of his eyes right there. Bring his eyes over here to the side. His eyes should fit in there. I'm not going to worry too much about the information about the eyes. I'll get that at the end. Okay. Should be close to another eyeball width to the ears. The nostrils even a little bit here and here. his tips of his ears almost come down to right here to the top of his mouth here. And those ears are always so much longer than I think they are. They are just humongous. That points their ears, these points should come, just right below the eyeball. So right here and right there, that might be a little too low. We got that split, and we keep that split coming pretty much straight down to that 1/2 third mark here, and then come in. Uh, that kind of splits the hairs in this, especially in his chest here, the wet hairs that are going to be making this like kind of like just a W, like shape wise thing coming down from his jaw, side of his head here. But basically, it's a nice big W splitting on either side here. Just make sure that they are just, I know, when you get to this point, when you even, it's almost too early to say that, make sure that one's different than the other, that they're not exactly the same width or size, so they do come back down to really close to the same length, but make sure one's a little fatter than the other. And everything's going to be based off arcs too. Everything gets really archy one way or the other. It's just, with his hair coming down these points. Really, that ear pretty much tells you where that leg's going to go, pretty much at the end here. Gonna go right, here's his shoulder here coming down, and then it's gonna break off for his legs, gonna come out just a hair farther, straight, slight angle to it. slight angle to the inside here, just a little. And you got his one muscle overlaying the other right there. And just right on the back edge of his leg here. There's just a little row of fur that's wet. You know, that's usually they have a lot of hair right there off their ankle, ankles and stuff, things. A lot of fluffy hair. It's matted down in this at this point. I have a little bit higher in his jaw. Not much room there. About there. And you get a lot of that stuff. Background, you know, like he's the most important. So if I can get this in here right, I'll be good. Let's see. I am peeing at an angle. I should probably have to get in front of it. At some point, I should probably get in front of this a little bit more. Everything looks really good from this angle, but straight in front, probably not so much. You can see it probably got a couple distance problems. This leg comes in too far. I'll push that one back. That will give me that distance I need for a few things in here. When you get to this wet fur, when we get to these these lines that really make the difference in the painting, you only get one shot at them. So make sure you got enough room in here that you can, you know, get a few in there. Also, a great stroke is more important than you know, bet the design. Sometimes when you get to this point, you get a great stroke in there, but you got it taking up more room than the other one. Just leave it. Make the next one skinnier. You know, make sure you know to fill up that room. Don't ruin a great stroke. But at the beginning, there are no great strokes. We're just going to be making a lot of scumbling, and you know, it's just going to be roughing things in really quickly, trying to get energy into the painting as fast as possible. And we're thinking about the shadow here down here. Again, this is where I'm going to widen it out a little bit for it. Has a little bit more play in it than what's there. It's just could be fun. Okay. So I got to make sure I know which leg I'm doing here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it feels about right. Width wise, this feels down way too far. Yeah. It feels a little wide. But that's okay. I'm going to be wet fur. Just going to work out a little bit of shadows here. And just see how they just zigzag around. Everything's a zigzag there. Zigzag, zigzag. Those eyes up just a hair more. Better. That feels better. And like I said, background, I'm gonna have it kick back a little bit more this way. Trees. Background. Okay. Give you guys a few minutes here to catch up. If you guys are ready. I do like it better without the boat in it because the boat's just going to get in the way. Let me get in front of it for a second, just to. Couple leaning things. I got too much leaning going on. All right, let's block her in, I guess. This is I'm in between these two, I think. All right, we're just gonna go through our colors up top. We start off with phthalo green and alizarin. And we're just going to be using the dark side, definitely the green side. And just a little bit of oil, dark side. Up here, I can see it in a lot of places. So I'll just start up here to get it, just get this dark in. I got that green. This is right by the tree is right here. You can see this is even on the purple side. I really pushed the green in this side. And it's really purple. So I am going to add just a little green to my color because that's really, yes, it's supposed to be on the green side. I'm just going to rub it in. Now it's just going to thin it out. Keep it at full strength, but keep it thin. and work that out back in here. So now I basically already have a lot of my purple in. Oh, okay. Green. Still got the green on me. This is thinned out. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to get start looking at reflective colors in the dog, into the fur. Like I mentioned, the phthalo green tint right here above his nose or above the highlight, into the highlight, going around his muzzle here. That is pretty thin too. I must say it's not, full strength. I'm trying to keep it thin. It is a nice dark. Good to get it in these into some of these darker areas. Get some color in them. Definitely. Just gonna thin it out a little bit. Definitely going to be in these legs, this leg, and on the inside of this leg, and in the back leg here, and coming up. That's the phthalo side, kind of coming into the chest. Like I said, I watered this down, or have a little bit of oil in it. This is pretty much the color I mixed for this area with white. But I always like to have this color underneath, uh, so I get a few plays in color besides just the color itself. I'm going to have this uh, other color, this base color that's going to grab onto here too. It's going to change around a little bit. I'm not going to get a couple of variations of color that I wouldn't normally get. You don't really get. All right, that's green. This is the purple side. This is the alizarin side. Uh, that's full strength. That's too much. But even you think about that, I would be putting that in some of these areas here. Uh, in the lower part of this his neck hair here. So I want to get a little bit of red to show through there. A little bit on the purples to show through. Into the ears too. Like I said, I was talking about his face. Might put it, probably can start and put a little heavier right here in his mouth area. I didn't mix up the tongue color. That'd just be probably alizarin and a little bit of cad red and white, probably. That's usually the tongue color I use. Usually comes pretty close. Won't take too much figuring to get it there. So this is at full strength of phthalo green and alizarin. Um, I can put that. I want to put the eyes in with this color too. Oh, sort of a look, sort of getting there. All right, find that middle line in his between his two eyeballs. Definitely want to put it in with a little bit on the phthalo green side too, I think. And right in the crease. Maybe just a little lizard in this area. I'm gonna use it to. This is the purple, the alizarin, and phalos. I'm getting their tear ducts coming in from the tear ducts on out underneath their eyes. That little triangle of space here around their cheeks. I'm gonna get, you want to get in these creases early. You want to get in these areas that are going to be really dark. I'm going with a slightly green on the top and then go to purple at the bottom of this thing. Line. I don't forget this fur overlap on the ears. All right. Done with these colors now. Well, I didn't, be nice to get it into underneath here too. This back end of his. They go to a little reddish alizarin, more alizarin at the bottom of the shape. It's a little heavy.
James, is that a paper towel or a cloth that you used to wipe some of it off?
Paper towel.
Does it have anything on it?
No, it was dry.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I was just trying to pull these trees out here because of they went in a little dark. If you wipe it out like that, it doesn't, for that stuff is fine. But when you need to get up here to get in the dog area, you see you can get a really lot cleaner than you can with a paper towel with one of these guys. So if I needed to get up there. No. I'm just going to be going through some more colors. Going on to my next two colors, the transparent oxide and red and green. It's really rich. You could see it in these trees back in here, underneath, and coming into the head here. That green. I think if I just put a little bit of yellow into this color, I'll probably get that all the leaves and stuff, areas and stuff. I did not mix up that color. I should have. But as this thing goes, it's just okay. So I got now some warm green going on here. I'm going to see about putting some of that in here. Where I see it. Leave that. Here's probably going to end up all the way over here. Down with it. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to put it in the shadow. This is phthalo green, oxide, transparent oxide. And starts working in the dark shadow underneath. I'm going to kind of put it in a little brushy. It's not usually I like to put in water like this really kind of clean. But I kind of see this is just a little water. It's just a little choppy because of the drips and everything. So this is just phthalo green and transparent oxide on the just on the or green side. So it's one of those colors that is very can go green real easy. So that it's so it's not that strong. All right. I'm just going to touch it a few spots here in these areas, cooler areas in the fur here, the shadows, like under the chin here. It's going to go orange, more orange than it is, but does have this tinge of green to it. I'm just following the fur straight down. I'm not going to be trying to over design it yet. I'm going to put it in the chest. I'm going to come try to get this is the, yeah, this is on the other side. This is on the transparent side, transparent red side of that color. On the phthalo green. I wanted to get to that because that's going to come back into this area too, into that water. I'm also going to look at it in, into this area here too, into the background. So what that does, that is the brown side, the one side. This is the green side. The green side definitely could go here. And the brown side there. So these are transparent oxide with phthalo green, just a touch of phthalo green really into them. And I'm going to just bring it down pretty thin. This is the green side. And I might go to the brown side. This is the brown side. And this is the brown side. And that's supposed to be green. Let me check it again. Okay. That's all right. I'm going to just lightly bring it down now. So that means basically just a touch of oil to it. Now what I'm going to do is look at these arcs in the water, the length of these, basically the wave marks, and they just kind of arc this way a little bit, going across it. So one thing about waves and stuff, they really are this one long line. These things just are the same, matching up from here to here. They do match up. So, and a slight arc to it. I'm gonna keep it a little darker back there. Might lighten it up a little bit. And then over here, down here, get rid of this little triangle in the corner here. I am still using my big brush just to get the colors underneath. Just using transparent oxide uh, red with green in it. And now I'm on the transparent, the oxide side of that color where it's a little browner. And I've already put in some things here, started to work it into this area. I'll come back and try it again. Keep it a little heavier in the shadow areas of the ears. This is transparent oxide, phthalo green. Definitely, I think I find this eye a little bit on the warm side, above it. This eyelid here is eyebrow, and on the other side it's cool, so it's going to be on the green side. So I'm going to cut over and go to the green side of that. A little dark, but gonna lighten it up a lot. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next colors, and next color is basically green and the oxide red light, and they're more opaque and they're cooler. But I've kind of always find those guys right here around the eyeball, or his eyes, in these tear duct areas. It's just an interesting gray, gray green. It has a little red in it, has a little green in it. And at full strength, yeah, it's a little strong, but it's gonna soften up pretty quickly when we get our other colors in there. I'm also going to use these colors in the nose a little bit, definitely in the green. This is a oxide red light in green. I don't know, lost where I put those nostrils in there. That's okay, I'll find them. Then on the red side, definitely on the red side, I always find the red side closer to the light. You won't be able to see much of this right now with this thing, but those little spots, they have that little, right behind the nose skin, if fur and into the fur here. Can you always get a little gets a little dark underneath there. You can see their skin underneath the fur and these light, areas that aren't really heavy furred up on dogs. I'm gonna bring this color into his snout too, and into the dark of his snout. These two colors pretty much are, everything underneath that nose to the dark of his mouth. Which can be these two colors switched off and on, you know. When you start getting these jowl skins down in here, I have to come back with some more purple and stuff like that into these guys. And the edges of their eyes, right here, they always kind of slant down a little bit. And there's this fur coming down their temples and stuff comes down, almost lines up with makes a line right here into the eyeballs and stuff. This fur kind of just comes right straight down to it, and then the cheek plane comes in. Okay. Lots of darks in there. A little bit, that's okay. I want to get as much in there as possible before I get to these midtones. Midtones, we're almost right there on the midtones already. I want to get into underneath here, just into his see if I can get just a little bit more darkness, color and stuff in this W area. And that's going to be just moving these two reds and greens together. Transparent. This is regular oxide red and phthalo green in these areas. These are just slightly more opaque than the other colors we've been dealing with. So I'm going to put them in a little gingerly because they will grab and run a little bit more than the other ones. I'm finding that oxide red and phthalo green, mostly on the oxide red side. On the edges of these ears here, I'm probably going to come in with a cad red at the end and really hit the dark line between the highlight and the fur dark areas here. When I get I'll do that, but that's like one of the last little things I'll be doing. And I'm not even sure it will be end up on the video, depending on time wise. All right. Base is coming along pretty good, I think. Just got to get in these crevices a little darker. And you can see this isn't getting too heavy anymore. It just feels a lot better than it originally did. And we're just going to work it into the legs here. I want to get some. I don't want these legs just a little stronger. Green a little bit. Okay. Boy, he's leaning weird. That's okay. It'll just be pushing that guy around. All right. At this point, pretty much we got a good block in. Without the whites and stuff. Okay. I'm at the point where I can start to put in some. I'm at the orange and phthalo green side. These guys basically are most of this water here. And I was just thinking about, should I go ahead and, put this in right now, or should I, really get going on the drawing a little bit more? But I'm going to just lay this in a little bit and see how it goes here. This is
Excuse me, James, I'm sorry, what color are you laying in?
cat orange and phthalo green on the cat orange side.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's going to definitely have to get a little bit lighter. Um, for some of the highlights in here. But base tone, really, really solid, real close to what we need. So this cat orange and thing, I'm going to be putting it in and working it in. I've already put in that some of these other colors into this water here, creating some of these ripples. So now working this guy, this uses the cat orange just by itself, not cat orange with phthalo green by itself, going into these colors and just trying to get them to marry quickly without too much brush work. And I'm going to do the same down here, just a little bit lighter version of it. Got a lot of really interesting texture in that water. And I'm going to try and just, do a simple version of it. With just like midtones and highlights. Now I'm going to look for this green. That's pretty good. That's, takes about the right spots. I didn't mix too much extra, which is good, but I can start to see, reflective colors of these oranges coming into the face here underneath in the neck, and definitely into these areas here. Darker. It's okay. I do probably need one more color I see in this fur underneath it. I didn't. I was hoping this cat orange was going to be enough to do it. Do what I wanted it to do. This is the. So I'll probably have to mix that up real quick. I want that cooler. That's okay. I'll leave it there. All right, at this point, I'm pretty much have gone through my darks. The ones, at least the major ones in the painting and the things, and I'm not worried about the nostrils and little things like that yet. I'm just gonna get the just need a little bit of more green here and there. I said I was gonna mix it one little more color. Just be phthalo green and cat red. Thought the cat orange would do it. I thought I could get away with making one less color. But I could see in some areas in the fur where it's calling for it. So I'm just going to mix it up. one on the green side, one on the, both, pretty heavy on the red side. Even the green's not too crazy showing up here. But I was kind of seeing it in this area here. And I thought, that's, how close, you can see how close that is to the orange. But it's really cad red and green making that. And I was seeing it just slightly back here too, in his back haunches here. And into some of the skin. Now I see it. Now I'm starting to see it a little bit everywhere. Going, oh yeah, yeah. In this crease here, and this shoulder coming down, there's fur right there. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's here. Okay. So lesson learned, don't put mix the color if you need it. Yeah, just hit this few spots here. I think I can get a tinge of red into. That'll help me get a little depth. So this is just cad red, phthalo green, mostly cad red, light. Like I said, I was going to use it right here on these ears anyway. I can see it just coming through a little bit. Like I said, right in here was really good to have it in here, because when I put the lighter fur and stuff on top of it, it's gonna, fit pretty nice. And I can see this coming down and being the shadow side of this leg here in the water, just that warmth there. And that means this right here too could go red too. All right, now we're good. I was also talking about putting cad red and alizarin together for the tongue. We can mix that up tomorrow and do it. I just want to get this red in here now. This is right here. This right here on the temple area right here. That's why I had to mix it up, because I saw the orange is right here. It has a lot of orange in his cheek here, but when you get to the temple here, it just shifted to a warmer, darker color of version of it, and that would be what I saw there. I'm looking for the reds now in these little shadow areas around the, around his eyebrow here. This one kind of comes in right into that eyebrow, the eyelid and eyebrow right here. Gets a little warm. And then this one stayed on the outside and then worked around the outside, but then came in this back side of this eyebrow. Interesting. Okay. Now I feel better. All right. Now we're in the midtones. Now I can do on the midtones basically, right? I got the water short, it's in there. It's good enough to get me to the next stage. right? I feel I can get there. I think there's a few dark spots here in the water. These would be just phthalo green and the oxide red with just a little bit of white into them. Mostly on the green side. For the shadows right here in this water here. Let's see. Put these in place a little bit. When I run out of that color. See. All right. I think we're getting there now. I think it's about time to switch to a bristle brush. I'm going to switch down to my medium-sized bristle brush. And we'll start putting in midtones and some color. Yeah, basically we got just darks. Not much here with white and light in it, except for the CADs.
James, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
It seems to me I would have wanted to do my own e-check about an hour ago. And you, more skilled at this, probably don't need to do it as early. Do you have any suggestions of when we do those things?
Yeah. I mean, when you do feel like you are lost it and things, one of the things I like to at least get in these midtones in before I do that, just because right now, yeah, the darks, when I take a photograph of it, the darks are basically the same. They don't come, the shading and the colors of the darks don't really show up till you put a light in there. And then you can really see, basically you have a nice, better roadmap of what's wrong and what's right, because you can see, you'll be able to see that, around the eye a little bit better. You can see the lines and stuff. That's why another reason I kind of keep it very patchy too. When I, put these things in, they are pretty, my brush work is very shaped. It's not, they're not like too thin and too wiry. So I can see when I do a check, I can see pretty closely where things have to go. I can match them up easier.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but you're right. I'd be right in there right now. I mean, you could do it. I definitely could do it now, but I think I'd like to just get these next colors in, and I think that's going to go a lot faster than the first part. The first part was basically really getting all the structure in. When you get that structure in, and then I put this on top. Okay, I can see where the structure's off a little bit. That's what I'll need to do. I'm just gonna go through this. These should go pretty quick, but we'll see. This is phthalo green, alizarin with white to about a 7. This is the lizard, the phthalo green side. I want to see some spots here. I want to see how it goes. I see it above the eyeball here, his eye here, and this thing right in here. Wanted to see if I can get it in there, and in here into this area here, and in there pretty heavy, and coming around. This is where I can try to get in a lot of, impressionist colors into this dog's face. And yeah, they're gonna look funny for the longest time. But until you get the highlights in to settle it all down. Uh, that's the thing. So we're just gonna be having fun for a little bit with color. When I get down in here, yeah, there's not a whole lot of places I can do it. I mean, really, you can see it in the shoulder here. You can see a lot of uh, green, red here, a little bit into his leg here. Probably a little bit too much. Yeah, I can see where you probably needed to stop sooner. That's okay. You see, this is the purple side. So I'd just be able to switch back and forth between the one side and the other side just to, you know, get some shape. So yet, even at this point, I try not to waste a ton of great strokes. I'm not trying to make uh, any of that stuff, any fabulous marks, anything yet, because I don't want to waste it. I want to make sure that this is right before I start putting money strokes, scratches, and lines, and things like that in here that are really going to take off. And just be trying to see where this purple goes now. It's purple gray. I can see it in here, you know, going into the shoulder here and into this these shadows here. A lot of these shadows here have this kind of purple gray, but they also have a red version of that, and that's down here. This is the blue and oxide red light. Didn't even really dive into there. This is just, yeah, I don't want to work with this color too much. I was seeing it in here into the belly area. You can see how everything just keeps coming down to a point. Just drawing it down. I was talking about also in his nose, doing his nose with this color, but more closer to the home value, so it's not too bright. I got a little bit too big a brush for that too. I can see it up here a little bit. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're probably going to go to about 3:30-ish instead of 3. Um, just to finish this off, I want to at least show you a few strokes here before we take off. But we have some time yet. I'm gonna just basically I would like to just finish going through my midtones. This is the transparent oxide uh, in green on the green side. This has a real green tinge to it. You know, you might be able to see it probably in this ground, even behind his head here. Hopefully this, I'm probably going to shove this ear over a little bit. It's probably just going to be just a little bit wide of the mark there. See if it where else it fits here. When I take, leave the color. Sometimes these colors, these you put one color against another, and all of a sudden it reacts a lot different than it did up there. All of a sudden this color cools off down in here. It has a little bit more blue state to it than up here where it was green. And so it's just keep checking where it could go. I think I'm going to put it here. It's going to end up down in here too a little bit. And it'll start to take me around. And I'm going to put in a couple of strokes here in on the outsides, you know, of his big old thing here. I'm going to switch down to a little bit smaller bristle. And start working a little bit towards that way. These browns and stuff. This is transparent oxide and green with white, but it's on the transparent side, so it's really a tan. And a lot of tan to it. Just working pretty much right underneath where the highlights are going to go. This color can pretty much get into these areas and add some light. A little more paint. Okay. Kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to start drawing out a few strokes here on the side of his jaw here, or neck here. You know, start with a wide brush and then twist it off. Looks like I definitely didn't go deep enough, dark enough in here first before I do those strokes. So I'm going to go back in and this is cat red, phthalo green. Just need to get this a little darker so these strokes will read, even though when I'm leaving, because I want to leave a little bit of space in between my strokes. But the values was too close together. This could probably just go a little bit richer. Back and try it again. Clean up my brush. Just a hair more white. I'm gonna just a touch more white into it. Warmth too. Usually when I do one stroke, you know, like that, kind of can tells me where the next stroke's gonna be. You know, that for some reason you're looking at that color and you know, after you laid it in, you kind of relate back to the photo. It kind of tells you where the other spots are. So this whole little area up here gets in here. One of the things too, when I'm doing this, try not to make too many of the same brush marks next to each other. You know, same size length, same size, you know, twist, same things. Everything's got each grouping of hair needs to be have a lot of difference to it. That would have been good. That would have been a good stroke if it had more paint. And it's a little dark too. Put some of this orange in here. Try some of this orange into my strokes. Too much. Yeah. All right. A little dark, a little darker. Just flick it at the end always. That was a good stroke. I like that one. That calls for one over here on this side of the gel. It kind of matches that, but in a different, you know, length, just a little skinnier. All right. So I'm going to work with this color a little bit more. Like right here underneath the eye. You can work in. That's the thing is I put in all these colors, but I'm waiting. Then I'm going to make the adjustments with the correct color. But I want that correct color to hit these other spots. So when I do start to make, you know, make it look like them, I have lots of fun color coming in here. I love his furrowed brow. Yeah, up here. That's always fun. It's one of his, you know, interesting looks. Okay. So this is just transparent oxide, phthalo green, with a lot of white to about a 7. And I just mixed in just a touch of this cat orange and green mix. from the water, you know, over into it to lighten it up a little bit. All right. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to add a little bit of oxide red and green to this color. I'm going to go for this big one on the left here, and see what happens. I get enough, see if I have enough paint, because I have this spot here. It's just got to lay in here, you know, pull it down, twist it light, open it up and close it, and then shut it down to a point. And try to get that width. It came out a little short, but that's okay. I can fix that with the one underneath it. That there's another one underneath it that attaches. I can just make that one a little bit longer, get the length if I need it, if you know, if I'm not there. So that's the basis for that one. This one over here, same thing. I'm gonna hit this one area and then come down straight down and turn it. So I'm gonna come in here, twist it down, come down a little bit, and then twist it off. Those are kind of like my my guidelines now. I can pretty much, you know, those are the big ones. Everything else is smaller. Everything else will come in afterwards. You know, I still got a few. This guy has a few things that all come into this point here. And the thing is to draw your brush over these areas softly, and do soft mixes with this color. Don't push too hard.
James,
Mm.
I'm sorry, could you repeat what the mix you're using to do those?
Yes,
Area?
they were. That's just transparent oxide red and green with white to about a 7.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they did the main stroke. There are some lighter areas to it, but I think I might be even get those guys even with this cad orange and green. I think those guys should mix in here too, and do the lighter parts of these of that group of fur. So that's, you know, you start to layer it in like this, and then this, you know, you get the stuff on top, and then stuff in the back. You really just gotta, you know, you don't need to. It doesn't get the kind of love that this front one does. The front one's always going to get that. Should get more love. I'm just going to go through a little bit more. I'm going to switch down, keep going on some of these colors here. This is a phthalo green and oxide red light. It has a little green tinge to it. Might be just a touch too green, so I'm going to mix a little bit of the red to it to gray it out. And then inside here, inside that the W shape here, I'm going to start bringing down a point to a point. There's like 3 sections to it. That's the thing, is recognizing how many sections there are to this piece of fur. You know, so this one has three things. The one in the middle is the big one. So when you bring it down, it comes down to a point. Then from the side, it comes over here and comes to that same point, leaving a little space. And then the third one's from the other side, and the same thing, just leaving a little space. You know, a little bit too much there. And that's just switching off to green, and now I can see where that goes. There it will tell you that, yeah, that color can come in here, and it comes in over here to this side. Oh, it's really nice. Gonna be nice on this side because with these oranges. So that's that's two sections. Maybe there's one more of this green I think I can get, and that's going to be right here. There's going to be one more by itself little piece comes in here. Two. Okay. What? That's when I start looking at this stuff and things happen. I start seeing that green there and how well it's working. And it's really the only difference between that color and this next one that comes down to here all the way to the bottom is it has just a little bit more red into it, a little more orange. So I'm going to add just a little bit of cat orange to my color. And just bring that down here. Just twist down to a spike. Same thing over here to another one. Really gets small. This one over here comes from that side. Same thing, really small. And that's the basics for this thing. That's fun. I like the colors so far. This is really, really, sometimes it always surprises me what colors are really going to be in here. Because I'm going, okay, that should be a mint, should not be a mint. That should be more yellowish than this. But no, this is a mint green that becomes yellow against this red. And it has the right warmth and it's fun. It's a little different than was going to be in there. So underneath here, the rest of this stuff is just going around behind here, recognizing a few of these more of these lines, getting it filled in a little bit. It doesn't have to be as filled in as what we're going to do in here. In fact, you really don't want it that much more full. So I'm going to use this color too. This is the phthalo green. It's a phthalo green and oxide red light and just a little bit of cat into it. Because there's this section this spot right here could have be a little spot. And it comes down and it just runs down in here like that. Kind of missed it. And then this one up here just follows it down. And that's it. Now everything the rest of this area here is going to be little stuff. It can't be any more big strokes. I can, go in here and, modify some of these strokes, but I don't want any more strokes. That's it. There'll be a little teeny scratches put in there, and that will just fill everything up. This is that thing. Wow, I'm sorry. So I get, when I find the color that's really going to make this thing. That's interesting. All right. I don't know what it's going to do down in here, but I think I'm going to stop here. Let me see what, I want to see what you guys are doing a little bit. I want to do, I'm just going to put just a little bit of light on some things back in here too, just to, so I know what's going on back in here. Soften that up. There is a bar, some kind of studio thing here. All right. One last thing I want to do is get in front of it for a second. Just remove the highlights one more time. Let's see if that'll check and see if I'm halfway right. All right, I'll bring you in and you can take a look. Tomorrow we'll go through and do all the fixes, add some more paint, talk about more about this. We'll dive deeper into his chest, and into his face, and get everything ready. As you can see, yeah, just pretty rough. No tongue even yet, but there, you start to see, the areas, the guts of that what's going to happen are right there in already. I kind of just jumped ahead a little bit, but we got plenty to do to show you on that yet, though. In the background, definitely not much there. I don't want the background to affect the painting. So, all right, let's see what you guys got. So let's see what you guys got so far. Let's see, you got Joe there, ready to go. His is up. You got Kathy, and you got Margaret. Lost a few other people, looks like, which I have that effect on a lot of people. So let's see. Joe, can we go see you?
Yeah, can you see it?
In a second, Joe. There it comes. Oh, hell, Joe. Yeah, got a little bit of glare on it.
Yeah, I don't know what to do to fix that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh yeah, beautiful. Some great colors. Way to pull down that thing. Looks just like him though.
For some reason, this camera is like out of focus. I don't know what's going on with it.
What are you using? What kind of camera?
It's an HD um, Logitech
Yeah.
webcam.
Ah, I just use my iPad.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Now you can start to see the things. Okay, tell me about the colors you used underneath. Underneath is long hairs and stuff. Or you put anything in there yet?
As far as in here, you mean on
Yeah,
top or the
yeah,
darks?
the darks and stuff.
Yeah, I went, I'm laying that in because I know his collar is right there,
Yeah, yeah. Those are some of the things is like, do you put the collar in? Do you worry about the collar, or do you just kind of go without it? Usually, if it's not a commission, I don't worry about them.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When they're commissions, people always want to see the collars. It seems like.
Yeah, let me see. I don't know. This camera might work a little better.
Yeah. Okay. The other one looked a little pale. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do got a lot of color. I didn't see the orange in there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love the purple. I like. Yeah. See, you even got the right color in for the feet. Those are
Yeah,
fun.
I don't know why the thing won't focus. I don't know.
Huh?
Oh well, anyway, there it is.
Yeah, it doesn't recognize it as an object. It sees it as a flat.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Um, Good drawing, Joe. Man, the drawing's solid again. I love it now. Now I see the colors in there. That looks really good. That's a really great start. I'd say, when you do get, when you start to put in those hairs underneath, watch how much white you're using in that color. I think.
I want to show you something before you go.
Okay, I'm gone. Sorry,
Go on.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I did this one yesterday.
Oh,
So I don't know.
so you already practiced.
Yeah, I practiced.
Well,
Well,
God damn it.
you sent it as homework, right?
I did. Damn it, Joe. Look at you. You're going to get this class to pay for itself.
Am I off the island?
Yeah, you're kicked off the island. That's a pretty one. So yeah, you should have no problem finishing this one, Joe. You're such a show off.
Yeah, I know.
Good job, though.
Thank you.
All right, let me go to. You going to be here tomorrow?
I am.
All right, Kathy. Let's go to Kath. Kath, how you doing?
Good, James. And I kind of stopped around 2-ish. I didn't put anything I couldn't reverse. And
Okay.
and then I'm just going to pick up from your video in the morning before we start class.
Okay, great.
I wondered.
The drawing looks pretty good. For some reason, I can feel him in there. You got one eye too low. On the looks like on the left side, it's just a hair low.
Okay.
But otherwise, man, that's really there's something you caught there that's really quite nice. I mean, the jaw, the I think it's the nose and the muzzle and the ears sticking up like they did. That's pretty nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I think the width of the neck is good. I think a lot of the drawing is, in fact, pretty doggone solid. Doggone solid. Got that?
Well, that means a lot, and that was my trepidation of continuing. So,
Really?
yeah, but I continue. I got my mixes, so I'm ready to go in the morning.
I think you're set, girl. That looks pretty nice, in fact.
Thanks for being so tolerant. Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Okay, Margaret, did you paint? I'll go back to here. Let's see. Margaret shows. There she is.
Wait. Sorry. Oh, there we go. I did paint. It's so funny because I'm following you along, but it's so dark.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to lighten it up. All right.
Oh, no worries, Margaret. You will. Oh, that is fun. You really get the award for pushing the color on this boy. Congrats. That's half the thing is pushing the colors like this.
Yeah.
And this is like a Lautrec oh god, Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yeah.
You know, you got that green in that face. You know, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then when
I do plan to clean it up a little bit.
oh, I know you are. I know you are. But to get those colors in there like you did and let them live a little bit and not become mud. And now when you come in with the secondary colors over top, you know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just gonna marry so beautifully. That's gonna be quite fun.
Oh,
You know,
thank you.
you
Yeah,
should be
the chest got a little muddy, so I had to wipe off again. So I'll have to, try that. But thank you. Yeah, this is
oh man,
fun. Definitely fun. Thank you.
oh good, no worries. Yeah. That's exciting to see. You know, it's good to see somebody could push the colors like that. I would like to that's what I'm gonna try to do on this guy. Probably didn't show up quite as much. But we're in a good spot. I feel like we're in a good spot. Tomorrow we'll go through and we'll do the finishings on it, make the adjustments. I'm going to take a good picture of this thing and do a digital check. I'll show you the digital check, how we work that and how we can, find out where he's wrong. And then I'll change it for you in front of you and show you how it works. And then we'll go on. That should take, it's funny when I get done fixing it with the digital check, really all the last things to do is really hit the whites, hit the highlights and, fix the fur. And then it's the little palette knife things and the scratches and the bugs and the birds and stuff to put in. So.
Thanks, James. Thank you.
All right, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Is
See you
that
tomorrow at noon again?
Is that blue the sunlight reflecting back in? I mean, the sky reflecting off the water?
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really cool. I like this photograph.
Yeah, thanks. It is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could paint this 100 times, Joe, and sell it at those shows and stuff. You doing great work, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah, people love those. Well, that's what you should be because you're the teacher, you should be. I just can't get these phthalos, man. It just blows my mind that you get these phthalo colors to work for you like this. But it does, and that's what's amazing. It blows my mind. I could see it in your paintings,
you don't see it in many other paintings, so that's the cool thing.
No, and I was watching
I
was watching Andrew Tischler yesterday with Eric Rhodes, and he was using phthalo, and it's just not something that I reach for. I mean, I have tubes of it I've had for 10 years, and they've only gone down like a little tiny bit,
Well, it's one thing it doesn't play well by itself. It's one of those things that it can really enhance the other colors, but you gotta play with it. You gotta have some fun, and you gotta check it out.
Oh, I think it's beautiful. I love the way you do it.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. It means a lot, Joe. All right. So
all right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Yeah, see ya.
Thank you, Mr. Swinson.
Thanks, Monica. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow then.